Today we'll go over how funding works at Apex Trader Funding. We're going to go over the rules, the payout policy, and the challenge overview in the simplest way possible. And to do so, we're going to be using Proper Match because it has everything that you need to get a real review and outlook on how this firm is. And we're going to be taking a look at their most popular account, the Rhythmic 100K funded account. So starting with your payment, you're looking at $148.50, and you have to pay this monthly until you pass the account. For your profit target, we're looking at a $6,000 profit target, and there's no daily loss limit. So that means that all you have to worry about is your max loss, which is $3,000 on the account. For your max contract size, you're allowed to have 14 total contracts. And for your max loss type, this is going to be a trailing drawdown. And I'm going to break down exactly what this is. So let's say on your 100K account, you're up $1,000 in profit. Your drawdown will now increase from $97,000 up to $98,000. It's going to trail that $3,000. So for your activation fee, you do have to pay a one-time activation fee of $220. And for your profit split, you're going to get 100% of the first $25,000 per account. And then after that, you'll receive 90%, which is pretty good. For your payout frequency, you have to trade 8 active trading days with at least 5 days of having a profit of $50 or more. So you have to trade 8 days, but you only need to have 5 days where you make over $50. So now let's take a look at the firm's rules. They do have a consistency rule, and it says here that when requesting a payout, no single trading day should account for more than 30% of the total profit balance accumulated. Inconsistent sizing. They say drastic inconsistencies in trade size are not allowed. Traders must maintain consistent trading sizes. For their contract scaling, they say traders are limited to trading half of the available contracts until they meet the trailing threshold. Stop. For their risk management, a maximum of 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio applies to all trades. To limit on losses, open trades should not exceed more than 30% negative drawdown from the account profit balance. If the account balance doubles the safety net, traders must use a 50% drawdown limit instead of a 30%. So what this means is that no more than one position size should equal more than 30% of your account drawdown, which for this account is going to be around that $900 mark. But it does say that if the account balance doubles the safety net, so if you make $6,000, now you only need to do 50% of the drawdown, which would then be about $1,500. So they do have a one direction rule. Traders may take a position in either a long or a short during a news event, but holding positions in both directions simultaneously is strictly prohibited. So you can't trade the news in both directions looking to get a big move. Consequences for rule violations: you get temporary limitations on contract usage, payouts restricted to profits earned since the last request, disqualifications of previously accrued windfall profits for withdrawal over the next 2 payout cycles. So for their payout policy, they do have a safety net. The safety net rule applies to the first 3 payouts, only requiring a balance equal to the drawdown plus $100. So you need to make $3,100 for the first 3 payouts in order to make that safety net. And then it says after the 3rd payout, the rule no longer applies. So if the safety net is met, a minimum payout of $500 can be requested. So for your first 3 payouts, you need to make at least $3,600 so that you can request the minimum of that $500 there. And it says for payouts above $500, the balance must exceed the safety net by the amount requested. So you receive the profits that you make after you built the safety net. You don't receive the safety net profits. So let's say you make $5,000 on the account, you will be able to withdraw $2,000, keeping that safety net of that $3,100. It says here that this rule applies to both new and existing accounts. Additionally, payouts require at least 8 active trading days like we mentioned, and a minimum of 5 days of having more than $50 per account. So let's take a look at the overview of Apex. They have a 3.6 overall rating. They are stationed in the US. Their years of operation is 4 years, and then you can see that they are a futures firm, the platforms that they have, and this one right here is big. You can have up to $6 million in allocated funds, and then if you use code MATCH, you'll get 50% off. Let's see how Apex stacks up against some of its competitors. You can see here that it rates at a 4.1 for trading conditions, a 3.8 for customer care, a 3.6 for user friendliness, and a 3.7 for their payout process, with an overall rank of a 3.6. It's important to note that this is based off an average weighted scale of the total reviews. And let's actually take a look at some of those reviews. And if we click view reviews here, we come down here and we see Howard. Howard rated Apex as a 3.0, and he said that I've used Apex a few times mainly because of their price and entry are so cheap compared to other firms, but they still have the activation fee, which makes it on par price wise if you get funded. However, as a way to get to the prop firm experience at a low cost, it is the way to go because you'll be able to afford more opportunities to try. His top firm aspect was that the price of entry is very affordable and you can try bigger sized accounts at a lower cost. His least like aspect is the intraday trailing drawdown sucks. It doesn't give you the opportunity to cover from a loss, and it says the dashboard is super simplistic and visually doesn't look that great. Now if we come down here to Pavan rated it at a 3.0 as well. It says Apex offers one of the lowest monthly fees, especially during their 80% off promotions, but the $130 activation fee is almost twice as high as some of the other firms. The trailing drawdown can be restrictive if your strategy needs consolidation or a pullback. You may be stopped out too soon. On top of that, the lack of live chat support is frustrating in today's fast-paced environment, as having to write an email for every query can be time-consuming and inconvenient. If you take a look here, you can see his top firm aspect was the execution and low commissions. His least like aspect was the drawdown and the activation fee. So if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for choosing Prop Firm Match.